Hey everybody. Sorry we were having a little bit of technical difficulties this morning. All right, so we're going to talk about owls today. So if you're catching on the replay, go ahead. Still comment the questions that you might have for me. I will certainly answer those. If you're on live, go ahead, ask questions, comment. And hopefully we can go answer those as we go along. Thought I'd kick off and show you guys kind of all of the owls that we have in Iowa. I'm gonna move they don't see me, but right. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a couple of these today. We've got the great horned owl way up here, and then our barred owl right over here. And then this one way up here at the top, short-eared owl. And then you've got a barn owl and a burrowing owl, snowy owl. You've got a screech owl, and then a northern saw-whet owl. And this guy way over here is our long-eared owl. Now, in Iowa, sometimes these owls are here just for the winter, like our snowy owl. They're a rare visitor. They come visit just for the winter. And then there's other ones that are here year-round. Again, another winter visitor, short-eared owls and northern saw-whet owls. You've got sorry guys, you've got long-eared owls that in some areas in Iowa, they are here all year round. So it's kind of a good depiction of all of the owls that we can see in Iowa, and things like that. Not all technically in Cass County. I usually point out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Usually we say between 6 and 7 owls that we have in Cass County on the regular, or that kind of also includes the winter visitors. So a little bit of picture to get us started that I wanted to show. I didn't pull any of my other photos. I would also show a great horned owl. I brought him along here. See if he'll sit on my desk. Right here for him. So this one is a great horned owl. So again, they're named because they have these horned ear tufts. And so we talk about that they're not really his ears. His ears are actually just kind of like ours over here. Past the feathers, and past the feathers would be where the hole is, and actually right here by close to the stripe would be where his hole is for his ear, and then his feathers just cover it up. And so we talk about that's where his ears are, not way up there, though they can move. If they've got ear tufts, usually they can move those feathers up and down, and things like that. Of course, owls are in the raptor family, so we talk about that they're related to bald eagles and hawks, and then owls. And so we talk about those curved, sharp talons and that curved beak help tell you that it's in the raptor family. And so we talk about that. Those things give away that they're in the raptor family, so you can at least get into the right part of that field guide to look them up and things. So we talk about that owls are their own group and family in the raptor family. So, of course, they've got some awesome night vision. They got pretty awesome hearing. But this guy, his sense of smell, he doesn't really have a very good sense of smell. He's our #1 eater of skunks in Iowa. And so he takes care of those skunks for us. Yeah. And so we talk about that. They don't really have a good sense of smell. But they have really good night vision and really good, not only just really good night vision, but they have really good sense of, they can also be very quiet. And I'm going to show you a little bit about that here in a minute. Good question. They can see color. They have rods and cones in their eyes, just like us. Cones are for color, rods are for night vision. Of course, these guys have way better night vision than us, so they have more rods in their eyes. They can see color, not very much. So it kind of would be slightly a bummer to be an owl. And you wouldn't be able to see very many colors. We talk about other animals can see different colors and even see more colors than us. So but they have more rods in their eyes than cones. Let me get out my wing. So this one is the great horned owl. I was saying that earlier. Okay. So great horned owl, this is the same great horned owl wing. They want to camouflage into the tree. Again, they're sleeping during the day. And so most of our owls in Iowa sleep during the day. So, and I'm going to hold this really close to my camera, but we're going to, so how they are very quiet and sneaking up on animals in the middle of the night is this fringe right here. And I'm gonna bring it closer, but right here's this fringe, and here's how it works. When that air hits the wing, and if it was a different wing, like a pheasant wing, you know, it would be very smooth and it would just shear right off and make a noise, okay? And one of the reasons why those other birds are noisy versus when the air hits this little fringe, it just flutters. And then so it's gonna hit that wing, and then it's just going to flutter instead of making a shearing noise. Same way with the wing in the way back. You could, and I'm going to bring this right up to my camera, guys, so you could kind of see how soft this all looks. And so again, that wind hits it and it just kind of flutters. And here's and I call it a fringe. I tell kids when I talk, especially talking to kids, it's just like an eyelash. Hold it up here, let it focus. So right there, that little itty bitty fringe eyelash is so important, and so what makes them super quiet and just hits that and just kind of flutters. And so we talk about that owls that are out during the night have that fringe. If I had one. When we talk about like our snowy owls, they're more out during the day. Same way with our burrowing owls. They are out more during the day. I'm gonna go this way. And so our burrowing owl, this big guy, and our snowy owl, these two, they are actually daytime owls, more daytime owls. Even with snowy owls, they're more out during like after like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like they'll come out a little bit earlier in the afternoon, and things like that. So, and so when you look at their wings, and of course those are the two that are on this poster. Those two, there's a couple more that they're endangered in Iowa. So I actually don't have, even though I have an endangered permit, I don't have any of those kind of pieces. Besides we do have a snowy owl, and I didn't grab him. Just like we have our great horned owl. But if you would look at those wings, those ones wouldn't have that fringe. They're out during the day. Make sure you guys ask some questions while we're still on. People ask me maybe another little thing to say about their eyes. So if you were this great horned owl, okay, and you would have eyes the same size, so if we're human, okay, but we're going to have the same size of eyes as this great horned owl. So we talk about how much, if I had a skull to show you, how much his actual eyes make up of his head, we would have to have tennis balls for eyes. So that's how large their eyes actually take up on their skull, when we talk about how large their eyes are. Feathers on their feet also help them not only stay warm, but also help them stay quiet. So if they need to still, again, if they need to be quiet, they have feathers on their feet to help them stay warm, things like that. One of the great things about owls, well, I guess I think it's a great thing, but some people don't. We were talking, Monday about some of the things that is outside in nature and yucky a little bit. But owls actually, when they eat their food, they eat it whole. So they're going to eat, they're going to tear that up, and they're going to just scarf it all down. Especially if it's a mouse, things like that. And so all of that fur and bones gets puked back up. I'm going to try to let it focus here. And puked back up as a pellet. And you can see that there's some bones that are here in the bottom of my baggie. So this is a pellet, most likely either a barred owl pellet or a great horned owl. Just the same way we talk about how big the owls are. The bigger the owl, the bigger the puke. So they're going to puke up. This has got actually fur in it. So sometimes you can find ones with feathers in it. So they do eat sometimes baby birds and things like that. They also eat snakes, especially in the summer. So you can find a really shiny, almost falling apart pellet. I don't have one of those. This one is probably got some mice in it and things like that. And then you can take this apart to figure out what they ate. And this one is a little bit of a smaller one. So this one probably came from a screech owl. And it's actually not in its pellet form anymore. Too many kids probably have handled it. A cool thing, and I'm going to see if I can get my camera to focus on it. That's a tooth. So we talk about that. Then you can take it apart, measure it, and then by measuring it, you can tell what the heck they ate. Did they eat a mouse? Did they eat a vole? Baby bunny? Baby bird? Snakes? So those are some of the favorite foods of owls, besides skunks, if you were a great horned owl. They love skunks. Good question. I was just trying to look to see what else I had with me. The white one that was on our poster is actually called a barn owl, beside the other white one. So when he is got his wings folded up, he wants you to he camouflages into the brown of a barn or of a tree. But when he flies over you, he's completely white. And so he's got this white underside to his wings. He's got a white belly and he's got a white face. Those ones are endangered. And I was just talking to a friend over in Cedar Rapids, and they're reintroducing barn owls over by Cedar Rapids now is one of the next counties that is getting some. We also rehabilitate them and then or rehab them and reintroduce them in Montgomery County, which is just the county south of Cass County. So we've been kind of keeping our eyes open on these guys coming into our county and hanging out because they've been successful down there in Montgomery County a couple of years in a row. So if you see this guy, or of course if he screams at you, so we talk about how owls can hoot. Some owls don't hoot. This guy, my barn owl that we were just talking about, so he's got that white underbelly and a white face. He screams, actually. Let me get into what I wanted to show you. So we talk about that our great horned owl. He's an owl that will hoot. So the great horned owl, I'll bring him back over here, and hopefully you're going to be able to hear this. I'm going to try to hold it up to my microphone. So if you're a great horned owl, you're going to it's going to sound like 5 hoots. noise. Let me quiet that. Let me try that again. Hold on. Sorry. Let me play it one more time for you. Maybe. Hopefully that wasn't too quiet for you. Barred owl, we were talking about them a little bit. They have the brown bars on their chest. Sounds like they say, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all?" Ooh. Now the one we were talking about that screams is a barn owl. So again, all white and screams. So you can actually, just like with our other birds, you can learn them by their sound. And so I always just remember with this guy, he's the 5 hoots. And barred owls and great horned owls, like this one, will also live in the same area and nest closer together than you would think. Since they're different species, they actually get along a little bit better. But if we had a great horned owl nest and 2 other great horned owls came in and wanted to nest too close to their nest, they would defend their territory, and they don't want other great horned owls too close. So here at Cold Springs, we actually have great horned owls in one part of our campground, and then we have barred owls that like to be right over the lake and over by the cliff area. And they nest, they get along just fine. We'll hear them both hooting, because they're 2 different kinds, they're okay being within, 100, 200 feet of each other. Things like that. So, any other final questions before I pop off? And feel free, if you watch this on the replay, still ask some questions. I'll pop on and answer those in the comments as well. So, all right. We'll probably be posting tomorrow, kind of reminding everybody when we're going to go live next week, and when we are asking for opinions or topics, things like that. I had a thought of, I'm not good at puppet shows. I'm not going to put on a puppet show, but I have a variety of puppets. Maybe you guys want to see my puppet collection. I don't know. So we'll probably be asking everybody for some ideas for next week and the week beyond. If you really like puppet shows, though, Polk County has been doing some awesome puppet shows. So, I mean, they've got a set up in their nature center, and they do it. So if you're not watching some of these other nature centers, we're all kind of helping each other out, sharing everybody's lives and things like that. So trying to break up the boredom, let your kids watch a video on Facebook here mainly. Not too many are putting theirs out on YouTube right now. But anyway, looking for ideas as well. Maybe you want to see something I have. I don't know. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Probably Mondays and Wednesdays again. All right. See ya.